All of this story would begin long before the destruction of the planet Vegeta. Bardock was doing a mission that would put the Emperor of Cold, Frieza, along with his companions. The mission was very simple. A new planet that would have appeared in the universe. On that planet, there was a very valuable material for the construction of new weapons with more power and much more resistant ships. Frieza, being interested in this rare metal, decided to send the Saiyans to negotiate with the inhabitants, but if for some reason they refused to cooperate peacefully, they would have to eliminate them all and thus steal all the ore that was on the planet. Wow, this planet is very strange. Why is it that Frieza is so interested in the ore on this planet? Hey, all of you, what are you doing on this planet? Are they thinking of stealing our precious minerals? Bardock, seeing the guy who had just appeared, had scanned him with his tracker. This guy's power is very weak. If anything, he reaches 50 power. How pathetic. Look, we are not invaders. We are here to negotiate with you. If you accept to work with Emperor Frieza, he will give you protection and a lot of money. The only thing you have to do is to give us most of the ore that is on this planet. He does it because you know the method to create the ore again. The guy, hearing Bardock's words, would be very angry. Why don't they all go to hell? I'm not going to make the people of this planet work with that emperor you talk so much about, so it will be better that they all leave at once. And if we don't leave, which is what will happen, you will go to a corner to cry and wait for someone from this weak planet to save you? Don't make me laugh. I can't stand to listen to your words anymore. The guy who would have lunged at Bardock, giving him a punch in the chest, but he would only squeeze his hand and then throw him to the ground. His head would be crushed by the Saiyan's foot. Don't try to be a hero. We told you we were coming peacefully, but you left us no choice. Comrades, eliminate all the inhabitants of this planet and steal all the minerals. All the Saiyans began to eliminate all the inhabitants. It didn't matter if they were old or young. They all suffered the same fate. Look, this is what happens to the people you were trying to protect. Please stop. I can't take it anymore. Not many minutes had passed when most of the people had been eliminated. Bardock, with his tracker, was going to see if anyone was still alive, but the tracker only marked the ground, inhabitants, and his companions. Now only you are missing. Damn it, all my people were eliminated. You will pay for all of this. The moment the inhabitant said this, Bardock would have thrown a key ball in his face, ending his life in an instant. This guy was just talking nonsense. If you don't have the power, don't talk. Anyway, I want to get out of here and see my wife again. Frieza lately is leaving us more missions than usual. Surely he must be planning something. Bardock's companions, along with him, would start walking towards their ship. But after a few steps, the planet's sky would have turned red, along with a great tremor that shook the entire planet. What is going on with this place? The planet is going to be destroyed. If so, we have to get out of here as fast as possible. Bardock, along with the others, would run to their ships, but from one second to another, a fellow Saiyan would have lost his life. The confused Saiyan began to run with much fear, falling one by one, until only one was left alive. My friends lost their lives from one second to the next, and I was not even able to react. Bardock shouted, confused and furious. Who is to blame for all this? Get out of wherever you are! A person would have appeared out of the mist. The Saiyan would quickly use his tracker to measure his power, but the moment he did, it would break completely. Who the hell are you? Why are you doing this to us? Is it not very obvious? You have eliminated all the people who were on the planet. These people were protected by me. Your friends did not care about eliminating the young people who lived on the planet. Many innocent people died because of you. I hate to see how people who think they have power hurt the weakest. The Saiyan would feel a great pressure that was breaking his bones. His screams of pain could be heard all over the place. This is music to my ears, but it is not enough. Before you lose your life, I will tell you something. I am an omnipotent god. Our life is very hard and very difficult. From what I can see in your eyes, your wife is carrying a child in her womb. Hey, don't you dare do anything to my family or my child. You have no right to say any words right now. Bardock had his tongue cut out. Your son will be born with a very great power, but in return for having so much power, he will have a very devastating life. When he grows up, I will face him and eliminate him too. And one more thing, my eyes of destiny just revealed something to me. Your planet will be destroyed in a very short time, so no matter when I intervene, see you soon, Saiyan. Bardock's body disintegrated in a single movement. That scene was very weak. I guess after a few hours this planet will revive again. The being would have left a special seed on the planet, and without thinking twice, it would have headed to the Vegeta planet. Even though the being was going at a very high speed, the trackers could not see or feel its presence. Meanwhile, Gine, it's been a while since my husband left. I hope he is well. Suddenly, from one moment to the next, the time of the place would have stopped. Gine would have dropped a plate on the floor, but she would realize that it was still in the air. As she left her house, she would realize that the other people would not be able to move either. Because time stopped, is this possible? Of course it is possible, mortal. You can tell that you have not lived long enough to see the things that I have seen. You limit yourself to be on one planet, knowing that the universe is very large. I imagine you wonder why I am the only person who can be able to move. That's because I came here for something very special. I do not like to give sad news, but your husband has lost his life because of me. The being would show her a fragment of how her husband lost his life. My husband cannot be dead. This must be a lie. We were expecting a child. Besides, he is not to blame. We were only following orders. I know perfectly well. Shut up for once, you don't know anything. If that were true, you wouldn't have eliminated my husband. You can tell that living beings only care about their loved ones. Gine, angry and with tears in her eyes, began to throw key balls non-stop against the guy, but he deflected them all with one hand. Gine threw a blow, but the guy disappeared quickly and then grabbed Gine's neck. Woman, it doesn't matter when you get angry and beg me, but your son's fate is already written. The guy would cut his arm a little to force Gine to drink his blood. The guy's wound after that would have healed as if nothing had happened. The subject would let go of her neck. Gine would be on the ground wondering what she had just drank. 5 seconds later, a light would have been seen in her stomach. My body starts to burn. The minutes and seconds passed, and Gine's screams did not stop. Her body was sweating a lot. Her life was being lost more and more. What have you done to me? My body suffers non-stop. The process to be an omnipotent being is not easy. Without pain, there is no gain. Don't tell me that after this suffering I will lose my life. Most likely, you will. Even the strongest beings lose their lives in this process. Listen, if this is my punishment for what my husband did, I accept it, but at least leave my son alive. I don't like to promise things, but if you make it through this ritual, your son will live for a while, and if you don't, your son will die with you. Whatever it takes, my son will get out of here alive. More than 30 minutes would pass after the Saiyan went through horrible pain. Her son would be born magically. The body would be covered in a white light. In the end, if I don't make it, I hope you can survive and become a great warrior. Remember that even if I'm gone, I'll always love you. See you soon, son. After saying that, his body would be crushed into dust by the blood ritual. I did not believe that such a weak mortal would make it through the blood ritual. But my eyes of fate never lies. This is a 1 in a billion miracle. Now it is up to you to survive. Let's see how much you will achieve on your own. The subject would have disappeared, and with that time would have returned to normal. Goku did not stop crying. A neighbor who was in the area wondered why his mother did nothing to calm him down. When she entered her house, she realized that the little baby was alone. The only thing beside him were small ashes. The neighbor looked all over the house for Gine, but did not find her. The strangest thing for her was that a few minutes ago, she swore she had seen her cooking. She carried Goku and took him to the guards, explaining the situation. Don't worry, ma'am. We'll inform King Vegeta, and we will see what we can do. The guards would take Goku to King Vegeta. Sorry to disturb you, but apparently this child's parents have disappeared. You guys are bothering me just because of that stupidity? But sir, this child looks like a newborn, and although we checked the house before we came, we found nothing of who the child was, if I could know. He belonged to the Saiyan Bardock, a low-class warrior. So Bardock, I think he's on a mission sent by Emperor Frieza. Just put him in a recovery capsule so he can survive, and send him back home. I won't even take the time to look at his power. He must be trash, just like his father. As Goku left along with the guards, he would start crying again. The king's tracker would have turned on by itself as he calculated the baby's power would suddenly break. Stop! How has this low-class baby been able to break a tracker? Surely it was just a mistake. The king would order the guards to analyze Goku's power, but in doing so the trackers would break completely. This is certainly not a coincidence. This baby was born with a very strong power. This baby was born with a very strong power. To think that Bardock is a low-class Saiyan. Is something like this possible? Not even my son Vegeta is able to break a tracker. He reminds me a lot of that young man named Broly. What do we do with the baby, sir? We send him to the capsules where the strongest warriors are? How can you think of doing something like that? If he is there, my son will be trash in front of him. Hide him in a room where no one else can see him. After a while, we will get rid of him. But King, you can't do that. This baby has great potential. He could be of great help in the future. Maybe he can be the legendary Super Saiyan that the legends say. Stop talking nonsense. That's just a legend told by our ancestors. Besides, if it is true for some reason, the only one who will make it is my son. Sir, we will hide it, but I'm just saying, think about it. Maybe in the future it will help us defeat Frieza, and we will finally be free. Stop talking nonsense. Something like that will never happen. Get him out of here. The guards would take Goku to the room to put him in the special capsule. The guards left the room, but after 10 minutes, Goku would start crying again. The whole palace of King Vegeta would start shaking uncontrollably. Are we under enemy attack? Everyone get ready to fight. A lot of soldiers would have gone outside the palace to see the enemy head on, but when they came out, they would find absolutely nothing. King Vegeta, no one is attacking us. That can't be possible. If no one is attacking us, where is this tremor coming from? King Vegeta would put on a tracker to look for the enemy, but when he pointed to his palace, his tracker would have exploded. And not only this, but all the soldiers'. We were wrong, sir. The enemy is coming from the palace. They would all go to the palace, but the king had stopped them all. There is no need for them to go to the palace. I think I know what could be causing this tremor. The king would go along with the other guards who knew about the baby's power. But what they never imagined was that when they entered the room, they would find the special capsule completely broken. Goku would have stopped crying, causing the palace to stop shaking. So the culprit of all this commotion is this baby? This is not good at all. I'm afraid that baby surpasses the power of everyone living on this planet. Having him here alone is a danger. The best thing I can do is send him to a planet where he can't survive, just like I did with Broly. Besides, his bastard father has not returned. Recently, Emperor Frieza sent all the Saiyans to the planet for an important meeting. It is most likely that he lost his life in the mission. His mother also disappeared strangely. Having this baby will only bring us misfortune. Quickly, I want him to be sent to a faraway planet where he may not be able to survive. The guards would have taken Goku in their arms. When they were going to put him in an escape ship, the misfortunes that King Vegeta was talking about would have begun. Look in the sky. What is that sphere of energy? Is it coming towards us? The guards, seeing that, would have released Goku to start running for their lives. So Frieza betrayed us, and now he wants to eliminate them. I didn't think that the disgrace of having that baby on this planet would start so fast. Anyway, I need to get out of here as fast as I can before I lose my life. Meanwhile, the Emperor of Cold... All those apes are going to die. I can't let the legend of that Super Saiyan be true. Even if it's a rumor, I have to finish them all. Besides, they were already starting to be disobedient. The only way to eliminate a plague is to finish it from the root. The supernova of energy was wiping out all the inhabitants of the planet. The great mass of energy would have touched the core of the planet and exploded instantly, giving a great show to the Emperor of the Cold. I love fireworks. They're so beautiful. Always destroying a planet puts me in a very good mood. It's a pity that our army has been reduced a lot, but I will get much stronger and much more capable warriors than these simple apes. With these, the Saiyan race has been eliminated completely. Excuse me, sir, for bothering you in your celebration, but there are several Saiyans that did not answer our call, specifically some that we entrusted them with a mission to bring you a very precious mineral for the construction of weapons. Don't worry about that, they surely lost their lives for some strange reason. Anyway, in these days, I will visit the planet to see what happened. It is time to leave here. When the Emperor's ship was about to start, a soldier would have stopped it. Wait, Big Frieza, we have a little problem. Insolent! How dare you question me? If I say we are leaving here, it is because we are leaving. You better have a good justification before I end your life. Sir, in case you didn't notice, my tracker is still tagging a live person. What are you talking about? That's impossible. My supernova wiped out all the Saiyans along with the planet. Frieza would have quickly put on the tracker to find that person who is still alive. When the Emperor of the Cold got his location, he would have left the ship on his own. I need to see with my own eyes who is this person able to withstand my attack and live to tell the tale? Maybe it will be the legendary Super Saiyan. No, that cannot be true, it's just a rumor. The Emperor of Cold was flying in space until after a while he managed to see it with his eyes. The moment he approached, the tracker would have broken. The person who managed to withstand my super attack is just a baby? Something like that is even possible? If I raise him and make him a soldier, he could be of great help to me. But that will be very risky. Although his army was reduced by half, if I managed to raise this baby, I could fill that space very easily. In fact, that baby could be my entire army. Frieza would have grabbed Goku with his hands, but when he tried to move him from where he was, Goku would have started crying and releasing a big aura. Frieza would have moved back several meters, being very surprised. A baby was able to make me move back? This is very interesting. Now, more than ever, he must be mine. Frieza tried to approach the baby again, but Goku would only start to expel a lot of energy. Goku, who was very restless, would have hit him in the face without realizing it. Frieza would crash against a meteorite that was in space, managing to be hurt in one blow. A baby was able to hurt my body? This doesn't seem funny to me anymore. I feel a lot of pain right now. I will launch a super attack again. The attack would be launched at Goku, thus crashing into his body. But Goku would not have received any injuries. Even though Goku was just a baby, he would have found it interesting to see that light approaching, causing him to stop crying to think at that moment this was all a game. Goku at great speed would approach Frieza to continue playing, but he would see that Goku was approaching and would start throwing ki balls. Goku, who was only 1 meter away from the Emperor of Cold, would have grabbed Frieza's tail to start spinning and then throw him far away, unlike the other time. Frieza would crash into a planet. Goku found all this very funny, so much so that he wanted to replicate the lights that Frieza had launched a few seconds ago. The ki balls that Goku was creating would have been launched to the planet where the Emperor crashed. Frieza, who could barely move, managed to dodge those energy balls, escaping from the planet. The whole planet would be destroyed. Goku, who was watching the lights coming out of the planet, which he himself had destroyed without having any conscience, would start laughing a lot. I almost lost my life because of that baby. He really thinks that all this is a game? I don't care anymore about having him in my army. Now, I just want to eliminate him, and for that, I will have to use all my power. Frieza would begin to increase his power, thus changing his form until he reached his last and strongest transformation. I never thought of using this transformation in my life, let alone using it on a baby. Even if he thinks this is a game, I can't let him end my life, or it would be too humiliating. Now, if you disappear, brat, Frieza would start giving several blows to Goku at high speed. Unlike the previous blows, these, if they hurt a little to the Saiyan. I see that my punches are now much more effective than before. It is only a matter of time before I achieve victory. Goku would begin to cry when he felt pain, but this time much louder than before. Frieza would cover his ear as the sound of his crying was unbearable. Suddenly, the Emperor would begin to feel a little scared, since the energy that Goku was expelling was changing color. Don't tell me that baby is the real Super Saiyan. That can't be true. It's just a myth. Goku's hair and eyes would have changed to a very different color. His aura would change color to a very red hue. At that moment, Goku would become a god without realizing it, managing to obtain the status of the Super Saiyan Red God. The Emperor would have retreated backwards a lot. Although he couldn't feel anything, his instinct told him to get out of there as fast as possible. Damn it, if I spend more time here, he will end my life. From the beginning, I never had any chance to beat him. And the worst thing is that for him, it was all a game. Even though I gave my all in this fight, I never thought that the day would come when I would escape from a fight. Frieza would start throwing ki balls to different parts of space to distract Goku, but for some reason Goku wouldn't look away from the Emperor of the Cold. Hey, wasn't it that you really liked to play? Stop looking at me! Why are you looking at me with that face if you're just a baby? Goku would begin to charge energy in the palm of his hand. The Emperor of Cold, when he saw that, he flew as fast as he could, trying to reach his ship, but Goku would launch his energy ball. The Emperor, in an attempt to save himself from that ball of ki, would have launched all the power he had in a super attack, trying to stop the energy ball. But what Frieza did not know is that a mortal, no matter how small the god is, will never be able to beat him. Gods are destined for greatness, while mortals are destined for misery and suffering. At that moment, the Emperor realized that his life as the strongest was all a lie. A baby was going to end his life. A baby was going to end his life. The energy attack would be directly against the Emperor of Cold, thus destroying his body little by little. The last thing heard from the Emperor was his screams of frustration. At the end of the battle, Goku would return to his base state without realizing it. Frieza's assistants, who had seen from the Emperor's ship a great light of energy that would have appeared in space, would be quite surprised. After the energy disappeared, they would think that Frieza had won the battle, anxiously awaiting his return. Frieza is the strongest in the universe. No one can fight him, let alone a Saiyan who supposedly survived his attack. All people in front of the Emperor are trash. Minutes passed and the Emperor still did not return. The soldier, worried that the Emperor did not return, would have used an energy tracker that he found on the ship. But when he detected the presence, it would have broken again. Perhaps the Emperor was defeated. This can't be possible. If there is a person in the universe that could be able to beat him, this must be a dream. It would be better to wake up as soon as possible. I know this sounds risky, but we need to see what happened to the Emperor. Before the Emperor's soldiers lit the ship, they would have seen what seemed to be an object that would have surrounded the ship. The soldiers, when they saw it through the crystal of the ship, would be surprised that it was only a baby that was in front of them. But what worried them the most was that possibly that baby would have eliminated the Emperor. To check it, one put on the last tracker that was left in the ship. When it was put on, it would have exploded in just 1 second. It really was a baby that took out the big Frieza. Listen everyone, you'd better get away from the crystal as fast as possible. That baby eliminated Emperor Frieza, and possibly eliminating us. Goku, even though he was curious about the ship, he just watched, but after a while, he got bored and moved away little by little. Apparently, that baby with great power has left here. For this time we were all saved and we haven't lost our lives. Now that the Emperor has been eliminated, it makes no sense for him to still be here. I know it sounds stupid, but I think I should look for a way to revive his body. Even though he was not the best person in the world, I think my reason for living is to serve him. Listen everyone, maybe the Cold Emperor has been eliminated, but this is not the end. I will not force anyone to stay, but those who want to continue in this crew, I want you to know that we will be looking for a way to bring him back to life. Meanwhile, Goku. He was still flying aimlessly in space, traveling at a great speed. Goku would have lost consciousness, since being so small, he could not control his powers very well. Although he had fainted, his body by itself continued flying through space, spending more than 1 hour. He would have reached a planet that very few people can be able to step on, because the most powerful figures in the universe and some small planets knew of the existence of this being and its symbolic planet. Before Goku reached that planet, his body would burst into flames. Whis, who was quietly watering some plants, would not take so long to feel the unusual presence of the person who was approaching his planet. Goku would not go through the layer of the planet, thus crashing into it, creating with him a large crater in it. Whis would quickly go to where the crater was, wondering in his mind what could be what he had found, since it was very unusual for him that something fell on the planet. As he walked a little further, he would realize what was inside. He was surprised to see that little baby that looked like a newborn with a lot of dust from the earth on top of it. How a baby fell to this planet? This can't be possible. I need to see his memories as soon as possible and see how he got here. When he put the tip of his staff on Goku's head, he couldn't see at all. How interesting. The first creature in this universe that I can't see his ancient memories? It's as if something blocked them. I think this baby didn't fall here just because. I think it will be worth taking care of him for a while. I'll ask Mr. Beerus if he allows me to. Whis would go to the room where the god was resting. He would ask him about the child, but as the god was so sleepy and thought that the angel was just playing with him, he would say yes and then go back to sleep. Whis would go to where Goku's body was passed out to say in his mind, "Baby, You have been saved. The god Beerus gave me permission to take care of you. I think that after a few years, when he wakes up, he will be surprised." A whole day would pass after that event. Goku would finally wake up. He would be in a comfortable bed, but he would start crying. Whis, hearing Goku's cries, would go to his room to try to calm him down. Despite his attempts, Goku was still crying. Suddenly, the planet of the god Beerus would begin to tremble slightly. This child, with his crying, is making the planet tremble. It would be better to give him a little hit in the neck to calm him down. The walking stick would go to Goku's neck, but out of nowhere, Goku would start to expel that red aura again. Goku would stand up from where he was lying and then throw energy balls at the angel. The angel would dodge them without much difficulty, but when dodging them, the only thing that went through his mind was how a baby was able to have the power of a god. Goku would try to throw himself against Whis, but Whis could grab his hands to be able to load it. "Calm down, baby, I won't hurt you." Whis would have taken out a bottle magically to put it in Goku's mouth. Goku, after drinking the bottle, would have calmed down, returning to his base state. Goku was calm and a little happy, because his only problem was that he was a little hungry. Seeing this baby so calm makes it seem like there's nothing special about it. Now that I know what he's capable of, I won't hesitate to train him and see where he's coming from. Time would pass. More than 5 years would have passed after that incident. Goku, in spite of his young age, could already speak very perfectly. Besides, his power would have increased a lot, thanks to his potential and the training that this angel has offered him for a long time. "Hey kid, how about a practice training?" Goku would get into the battle position. Goku and Whis would start a friendly exchange of blows. But despite the blows that Goku would throw against the angel would not be able to touch him. Whis would think, "Despite the time, this kid hasn't managed to use his transformation like a god. I think I'll have to push him a little, so he can really see his true powers." Whis, on his staff, would have brought out a divine beast. This was a beast with which the angels trained when no one saw them. The blood of these beasts in the multiverse is very precious, because if you drink it, you can increase your power. But even though the angel knew that, he would only order the beast to fight against Goku, because Whis thought that increasing his power with external things and not with his own effort would not be of much use. Goku would be surprised when he saw the huge beast, and then he would retreat backwards. Goku would think it was all a game, but the beast would hit his back and fall to the ground very easily. "That thing hurt me. My body hurts for the first time." Goku would charge energy into the palm of his hands, but his attack would have no effect. Goku would be hit again and again by the animal. Whis felt a little pity, but he would not stop the fight. He knew it was in Goku's best interest. The beast would carry large amounts of energy in its mouth, and without thinking twice, it would throw it at the boy. The angel would be confident that Goku would awaken his godlike power because he was stressed, but that was not the case. The energy would impact Goku's body, removing various parts of his body, such as arms and legs. Goku's eyes would be white and lifeless. The angel, seeing all this, would scream, "Damn! You overdid it with that energy ball! Now the boy has lost his life!" "Sorry, my lord. It was not my intention. Besides, the energy of that attack was not so much. I swear that at no time I wanted to end his life." "Forget it. Nothing can be done. You are a divine beast. Why blame you? It was my imprudence that eliminated him." Whis would clench his fists, as he would no doubt have grown a little fond of him. He would use his power to revive his body, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not. Now, I could only bury him and hope that he would live a good life. But out of nowhere, a white light would have come out of Goku's chest. A strong current of air began to be felt on the planet. Goku's hands and legs, along with his wounds, would begin to heal. Goku would open his eyes again, using his Red God transformation again. "That attack hurt me too much, a pain I had never felt before. You're going to pay for it." Goku's fist would fill with the red aura. He would throw himself against the beast, but this would see the murderous intent of Goku. So with his ki, he would create a sphere to protect itself, but the impact would break its shield. Whis would automatically teleport to stop the attack of Goku. This would make this angel move by a few centimeters. "Master, if you get in the way, don't blame me for being rude. I have to end his life once and for all." Goku would throw another blow again, but the angel would start to stop them. No matter how much Whis told him to calm down, Goku did not pay attention to him. From anger, his eye would start to bleed. It changed color to a golden hue. Whis, who would have seen it in Goku's eyes, would remain still and unable to move. My body can't move. It can't be possible. After looking at his eye, can he be able to leave me still for a single second? Beast, now you're going to suffer. Goku would begin to carry in the palm of his hands a colossal mass of energy. This energy had the size of an entire planet. No doubt, if that would impact on the planet of the god, they would be finished. The energy would be launched. The beast that looked fearful would take courage. I will not be eliminated by a child. Roar of divine beast! The loud roar was pushing back the energy ball, but from one moment to the next, Goku would have lost control of his power because of that roar, which would have stunned him for a few moments. That moment was more than enough for Whis to hit Goku in the neck with his staff and then stop the energy ball with his two hands. He would open a portal which would send that mass of colossal power far away. But where it was sent, in the distance, a huge explosion could be seen, which devastated several planets. Since this child is so powerful, he was even able to stop me. No doubt, he is a great danger. No doubt he is in great danger. He might be able to stop me for a few seconds. If my father finds out about this, it could cause a great commotion. I myself must continue training him and see what he might be capable of in the future. Master, I warned you, if you came between me and that beast, I would be rude to you. Goku would once again carry power in his hands, but when he was about to attack the angel, Whis would say a few words that would stop him in his tracks. You dare to attack your master? I have raised you since you were a child, and you think you have the right to attack me? You still have a long way to go, child. If you want to surpass me, you must train more. Goku would calm down, but somehow he would still be angry at the beast. Master, but you don't intend to do anything. That beast made me feel a pain that I had never felt before. And not only that, my mind disappeared out of nowhere and then reappeared again. Let me teach you a lesson. I told you to calm down. You think that because you have power, you were never going to feel pain? In this world, there are beings that if they want, can end your life with a single blow. I understand your frustration, but you better go to your room and get some rest. Goku would give him a small blow to the ground to create a big crack, and then return to his base state and go to his room to rest. The beast was very surprised of everything that had happened, since that boy, being so young, managed to fight him. Master, train this child well. He has great potential. If you no longer need me, I will proceed to leave here, and excuse me for what happened. You know that I cannot measure my strength in the mortal world. Perhaps, if this had been the palace of divine eternity, it would have been different. The beast would have disappeared in a flash, leaving the angel thoughtful. Now, more than ever, I need to investigate the past of this child. I had not done it because I did not see great importance, but from what I see, this child is very similar to the beings of the planet Vegeta. That planet was destroyed by the Emperor Frieza, by orders of the Lord Beerus. But as I see, here the child, so being a baby, managed to survive the explosion of that planet and face the Emperor. After that event, I tried to travel further back, but I cannot see how he was born. It is as if a being of great power would not let me see his memories, and if he could not see the memories, that means that this being is much stronger than me. I should not give so much mind to this. Anyway, there's the great Zeno-sama. Meanwhile, in another place, boy, if you have grown very well, in your body runs the power of an omnipotent being, and what you have shown at your young age has left me speechless. No doubt you will be a great rival. Finally, my meaningless life will have some fun. But as I told your father, for you, only a life of suffering awaits, so that's why I will send to eliminate that angel of yours. So now I will send one of my warriors to face you. Maybe if I do this, it will activate much more power in you, since in your blood runs the Saiyan blood. With a single snap, a warrior would have appeared on the scene. Master, why are you calling me here? Listen well, Latios. I want you to go into Universe 7 and eliminate the angel known as Whis. But sir, what you are asking me is crazy. If I do that, the High Priest would get very upset. Besides, in this world, there could be a scandal. Insolent one, you want me to make you dust? Look, you have served me for many years. I will let what you just did pass, but if you do it again, I will make you cosmic dust, and despite being turned to dust, I will burn you with my white monarch flame, to leave you as nothing. And not only that, your daughter will also pay the consequences of your actions. When Latios listened to his son, he would have only clenched his fists because of the rage he felt at that moment. In his thoughts, he could only curse him, but what else could he do? Everyone knows that the strong command and the weak only obey. If the weak do not obey the strong, they will be scum for all eternity. In spite of what Latios thought, he would have knelt down to obey the order without complaining. Master, without further ado, I take my leave. Don't worry, I will eliminate that angel. By the way, you also want me to eliminate the Destroyer God. It's not necessary. Just eliminate him if he gets in your way, as I ordered, sir. Latios at full speed would have flown to Universe 7. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, Goku was rested, but in his dreams he still couldn't eliminate that beast, while Goku was still sleeping soundly. Whis, who was meditating, would have felt a murderous presence that was approaching at great speed. At the moment of feeling this, he would get up quickly. What happens with this energy? Why Mr. Beerus did not wake up? Maybe only I can feel it. Where does this energy come from that makes me have chills? And if I am not mistaken, it is going to arrive to this planet in less than a minute. I must get ready. Whis would go outside. Before a minute had passed, the angel would have put up defensive shields all over the planet. The being that was flying at great speed would see this and would only laugh a little. This angel already knew of my presence. No matter how hard I tried to hide it, he could feel it. I don't like to make entrances with a lot of fuss, but I see that this time I will make an exception. The fist of Latios would have hit the shields of Whis, thus destroying them very easily. Before the subject entered the planet, Whis would have stood in front of him. With his staff, he would have pointed at him. You know that now everything is sleeping. The truth is that you are a rude person. Tell me what you are looking for. Angel, yes, you are very funny, but you know what I want. If you do, all this is because you must have already felt it. Whis at that moment would think without a doubt he wants the child's life. He knew that this could happen, but I will not give it to him so easy. The angel, without knowing the motives of the subject, would have put himself in combat pose. So I see that you want to fight is fine. I will fulfill your last wish. Whis, without letting the guy at least blink, would give him a blow in the chest, and then would give him a blow in the face. The guy would suffer several wounds from those blows, but his body would heal itself. I see you have something, Angel. Yes, you are somewhat strong, but we will see when you can last that firmness. Whis and Latios would begin to fight all over the universe, since the angel wanted to get Latios as far away as possible from Beerus' planet. Whis, while fighting, would use the mastered Ultra Instinct to dodge some blows more easily. Whis would close his eyes to better feel the blows of the subject, and to be able to dodge them more easily. Without Latios realizing it, Whis would have broken his arm in two to throw it far away. Latios, who was thrown far away, would recover his arm back, but halfway through the fight, he would have stopped in the air. The angel has a good control of the Ultra Instinct. He is not just a simple angel. I can see that he has trained many years of his life. But that does not matter now. Although he can handle the power of the Ultra Instinct, I have a greater power than him. The subject, seeing that the angel was not as easy a rival as he thought, he would have increased his power a little, leaving the angel a little surprised. The real fight begins now. The subject would launch several energy balls against the angel, but Whis would try to dodge them all. But when you try to dodge the energy balls, they are following them everywhere. While Whis flew to avoid touching those energy balls, with the power of his staff, he would take the opportunity to store ki in it, thus causing a large energy ball to be fired. This energy ball would have collided with the one that was following him, thus causing a large explosion. The waves of the great explosion would destroy several planets, but the angel, in just seconds, would create those planets again. If I don't finish with them quickly, I could destroy Universe 7. I warn you, if you don't go away, I will have to finish with your life. And you think that because of that threat, I will leave here? Because if you think so, you are wrong. The subject creates a giant fist with the power of his ki. This great fist would have hit against the angel, thus making him retreat. It cannot be possible that already 2 people in less than a week make me back. Perhaps the power of the angels has fallen so low, because if so, I will have to prove that we are not so weak. Sacred angel light! A strong light would make a large part of the universe glow, thus blinding Latios. His ability would have lost effectiveness because of that attack. Ah! You bastard! What did you do to my eyes? That damn light left me unable to see! I have to take advantage of the fact that he can't see anything and finish him off once and for all. The angel, without thinking twice, would have charged his staff with his divine key again. His staff would turn white, and as if it were an arrow, Whis would have launched it against Latios at great speed. The staff was about to hit Latios, but something unexpected would happen. Latios, he would open his eyes with a smile, and in a very mocking way he would say to him, "I fooled you, stupid angel. You thought your ability would work against me?" Latios would quickly use mental power like this, leaving the staff in the air, and as if it were a game, he would grab it with his hands. Did you really think this thing could do anything to me? Whis would be shocked when he saw this happen. But how is it possible? He can't be able to lift my staff. Only celestial beings can do that. Besides, he could withstand my sacred light? Is he really a celestial being? What relationship do divine beings have with that child? I can't understand. Hey, don't tell me that you're not an evil being. Maybe you were disguising your key so that I wouldn't notice, because a celestial being like you wants to kill someone like me? I'm also a being of light. I don't understand why you have to fight. You could realize it so fast. It is true I should stop all this farce. I will tell you straight out. I'm not coming for the child that you have been taking care of for a long time. I am coming for your life, Angel. A superior being ordered me to eliminate you. I see, you know about the child. I imagine you say that for him, but even if you are a being like me, I will not let you eliminate me. You have no right over my life, you bastard. Whis' ki would have increased a lot, thus charging a powerful blow against the subject. But before he could give him the blow, the subject would have opened his eyes, reflecting its attack. Thanks to that, the angel would fly far away, and as if it were a meteorite, would have crashed against the planet of his destroyer god. It would have crashed against the planet of its destroyer god. A strong tremor would have shaken the whole planet. This would have made the great part of the ground of the planet would be completely broken. The destroyer god that was in a deep sleep would have woken up automatically. What is going on? Why so much commotion? Perhaps one can no longer sleep without being disturbed. Whis, if you did something to wake me up, I'll be very upset. The god would have gone outside with his eyes full of sleep, but when he came out to see what was going on, his expression would have changed from sleepy to very scared. But what the hell is going on here? Whis, what happened to you? Who did this to you? Why are you so hurt? In all the years you have been my angel, I have never seen you so hurt. Mr. Beerus, there is no time for explanations. I need you and a child to leave the planet quickly. But what child are you talking about? I'm not going to leave you alone now. You have been my companion for a long time. Why should I abandon you now? But Mr. Beerus, you don't know the power that this guy has. I'm telling you for your own good. Get out of here and take the child with you. The god, although he was worried, was a little confused since the angel kept mentioning a child. Meanwhile, Goku, who was asleep, would wake up because of the tremor of a moment ago. As soon as he woke up, his senses were activated, so he could feel the energy of that being. It is the first time I feel something like this. Maybe something happened to my master. Goku, without thinking, would have gone outside to find the terrible surprise. With tears in his eyes, he would have ran to the injured body of his master. Master, what happened to you? Don't tell me that that person I just felt hurt you. Don't worry about me, my boy. Get out of here with Mr. Beerus. He will take you to a safe place. Master, but you are like a father to me. How can you tell me to just leave like that? You have raised me since I was a child. In the sky, you could see the figure of the being. He was just laughing non-stop. But look what we have here. The whole family is together crying for a poor angel. They are really pathetic. I'll give them good news. I'll let the child live, but in exchange, you two will give me your lives. Beerus, fed up with what the guy was saying, would stand up. "You're a bastard. How dare you do this to us?" The god would have increased his power a lot. In his body, you could see a lot of Hakai energy. "It has been a long time since someone made me so angry. You are the one who will pay with his life." The god would create a ball of Hakai energy, thus enclosing the subject in it. But the subject, as if it were paper, would have quickly gotten out of there. Beerus, despite seeing how easy it was to get rid of his attack, would throw himself against him, thus giving him blows and kicks with great force. But the subject did not even flinch. Suddenly, the god with all his strength would shout, "Hakai!" But in spite of that, Latios continued as if nothing. His body was still there without disappearing. This can't be true. He is still as if nothing after using the Hakai against him? Maybe he is at another level. Where does so much power come from? But it doesn't matter. I have to eliminate him anyway. Rage of the Rising God! The ability that the god used could only be used when your body was really angry. The angrier the subject, the more angry his power increases more and more. The god with his claws would create a claw of Hakai energy, but the one-handed subject would deflect it, thus splitting several planets in two. God, you are an idiot. No matter how much more you raise your power, you could never beat me. Understand, between a god and a being like me, there is a lot of difference. Shut your mouth, I don't care. The god, seeing that his attack did not work, began to hit the guy again, and with his tail he began to squeeze his neck. But despite all this, the guy was still standing there. Since you attacked me, I have hardly made a single move. Let me show you the difference between us. Latios would have grabbed the god's tail and then whipped him against the planet. Each blow he made with the god created large craters. The god, while being hit, spat more and more blood. His ability would have completely vanished, and his Hakai power would stop flowing in his body. I haven't even used any ability, and you are already in such a pitiful state. Surely this universe should change gods, because how is it possible that someone as weak as you is a god? It is better that you leave this world. See you soon, god. Latios would charge energy in his hand, but before he could do anything, Goku would have shouted loudly, "Stop at once! Don't hurt my master's friend!" When Latios heard that, he turned his gaze towards Goku. "What's the matter, kid? Can't you see I'm busy? I don't care. Leave him alone. Don't mess with him, and don't mess with my master." You're serious. But if you look like you're going to cry again, why don't you go and tell your mom to help you? Goku would start to clench his fists. Blood would start to come out of them. Small rays would start to come out of them. The sky would split in two, and then become dark. The rays would not stop falling. A scream would shake the place. Goku's hair would change to a white tone, while his eyes would have turned yellow. Now, if you're going to pay for all this, Goku would start to walk slowly. Latios would be surprised to see such a change. At such a young age, he could activate such power. This is impressive. Child, my fight is not with you. It's only with them, so get out of here. Goku, without saying anything, would use his yellow eyes again. Latios, despite being a being of light, did not know what those yellow eyes were, so he would have accidentally looked at them. "I order you to stay still," Goku would say angrily. Latios at that moment saw huge yellow eyes, while a great pressure fell on his body. What's wrong? I can't be able to move. Did this kid just do it with the power of those strange eyes? Goku, seeing that Latios was in trouble thanks to him, he would throw a strong blow charged with his new divine energy, but Latios, seeing this, would use his mental power to try to stop Goku's attack. But even though the mental power of Latios left Goku's fist immobile, Goku did not stop and continued his attack with determination. As his fist came closer and closer to Latios, a supernatural force seemed to envelop the place. The wind began to blow with intensity, the leaves on the trees rustled, and the sounds of nature faded away. Latios, seeing if that blow touched him could leave him somewhat injured, released some of his divine energy to counteract the blow. A barrier of divine energy formed around him, trying to repel Goku's attack. The collision between Goku's divine energy and Latios' mental power, along with his divine shield, creating a flashing explosion. The blast was so intense that the ground shook and the sky lit up with a dazzling light. The entire planet seemed to be engulfed in a titanic battle of supernatural forces. But Latios' barrier stood firm, defying Goku's onslaught. You think your new power is going to defeat me? I've been on this path for many years to be the strongest. A simple child can't be able to hurt me. But despite the words of Latios, Goku's fury was much greater. Without realizing it, he would make Latios look into his eyes again, so Latios would stop using his mental power. The shield would break completely, thus impacting a strong blow in the stomach of Latios. The guy would fly away from there, thus crashing into the house of Mr. Beerus. Unlike the other times, Latios' wounds did not heal so quickly. Damn, how that kid is so strong! Smoke comes out of my body, but my wounds take a long time to heal. I thought this would be an easy battle, but I didn't think that kid had so much power. If I lose to the kid, my daughter will be left alone. I can't do that. She only has me. Goku, seeing that Latios was hurt, he would throw himself again against him, thus giving him several blows. Latios only covered himself with his hands. Goku continued attacking Latios with a series of fast and powerful blows. Goku's blows kept hitting Latios' body, weakening him more and more. Despite his stamina, Latios could not match Goku's brute strength and divine power in his new state. The air was filled with unleashed energy, and the ground shook with every blow. If this keeps up, the boy will end my life. Latios would increase much of his power, thus causing Goku to retreat momentarily. Goku would nevertheless launch a powerful energy attack, but Latios was barely able to dodge it. Goku, seeing that his powerful attack was dodged, would have used the same ability of Whis, thus creating a portal to send away that power, so it would not hurt innocents. Whis, while watching the fight, said to himself, "This boy, despite seeing my ability once, he was able to copy it. How impressive. I can't believe you would go this far just to protect me. The master asked me to let you live, but you have been a very insolent person. With this attack, it's all over for you. Final judgment." Goku's soul would have been detached from his body, thus sending his body to the beyond, the place of the dead. The omnipotent being would be very surprised. That bastard. I only asked him to eliminate the angel. Clearly, I only asked him to do that. Why the hell did he eliminate the child? I will not forgive him for this. The power of the being was increasing. The palace where he was began to collapse. At that moment, a servant would have arrived. "Sir, please calm down." At this time, do not ask me to calm down. In one move, that servant was eliminated, and that servant had the same power as Latios. Meanwhile, in the beyond, where am I? What happened to me? So you have died twice, child. You were blessed with omnipotent power, but you have already died more than twice? According to the celestial rules, you can no longer be revived. You will have to stay here, and to think that you're so young. No doubt you had a great future. I don't know what you're talking about, but I need to go back to save my master. He is the only person I have. I can't let anything happen to him. Child, I see that you do not understand. I am the god of the dead. Your destiny now belongs to me, unlike mortals. All gods and angels fall here. So, if you are known as the god of death, I will have to finish you off in order to return and avenge my master. Let's see if you can make it. Let's see if you make it, boy. Not even the people who are at the top can do anything to me. I am death in person. My power is very great. I exist since the beginning of everything, so you better resign yourself to my power and accept your destiny. I will not accept what you say. Maybe I'm too small to understand some things, but I only have one thing clear. I must protect the people I love the most, and the person I love the most is my master. Goku would raise his ki, but when he did it, he would realize that nothing was happening. What happens because my body does nothing? Perhaps my power has disappeared completely. But even if I have no power, I'm not going to give up so quickly. Goku would throw a blow against the god of death, but at the moment of touching the body of that being, his hand would begin to disappear. In the same way, he would use the other hand, but the exact same thing would have happened. the god of death would only start to laugh. Suddenly, with a single movement of this god, Goku would fall to the ground without being able to move, while a dark hand would come out of the floor to try to swallow Goku's soul. Now you see, child, no matter if you were born blessed with omnipotent power, you are still weak and will never be able to protect anyone. That's why your master will die, and when he falls to this world, I will make him cosmic dust with my hands. Don't you dare do anything to my master! I will never forgive you. Goku, despite not having any kind of power, would have moved a few meters where the god was. Although the dark hand was dragging him, Goku somehow managed to move. Child, I see that you have something, but even so, you will not be able to save yourself. Until now, the god of death does not forgive anyone. Goku would be dragged to the ground, while out of desperation, he begged to at least let him save his master. When his body was about to be turned into a pile of bones, a voice would be heard. Stop at once! The dark hands, upon hearing this voice, would have stopped, and not only that, they would have released Goku and then fled, because they knew that they could not disobey the order of that being. This person was known as the Empress of Death, the person who is in the #1 position, the strongest person in the world of the dead. Don't you think you're being a little rude with that child? Just look at his face of confusion and fear. From what little I could hear, what do you think if we give him another chance so that he can save his master? But what are you saying? He has already died more than once. For having the omnipotent blessing, I spared his life one time. I can't let him go again. Those are the rules of this world, not even because he is the strongest being here. Don't think you can break them just because you can. I know that perfectly well, but it doesn't matter. This child has a strong determination. Didn't you see that? Despite having no power in this world, he can move against the dark hands. Remember that the people who come here are just an empty shell. Their true power is in their original body. What are you trying to tell me, that this time you're going to have mercy for this poor child? I'm not saying that, but seeing how fragile he is only causes me tenderness. The other time you gave him the opportunity to revive, now I think it's only fair that I give him a chance too. When the god heard that, he would be speechless. Just this once, you were right. Every 10 days we are able to omit a rule of this world. I guess you still haven't used yours, to think that you would waste it on this child. Anyway, do what you want. I only tell you that if he falls one more time, I will make him cosmic dust. The god of death would leave the place, as he also had other matters to attend to. While he went to settle his other matters, he would think, the Empress for the first time showed kindness to that child. It must be for something. I guess it reminds her of the son she could never save. Meanwhile, the Empress of Death, she would approach Goku, who was on the ground. With a single snap, she would have regenerated his lost hands. Child, you are very lucky for this time you have been saved, but do your best not to fall here again. See you soon. Suddenly, the dark sky of the place of the dead would open up, and from it a great light would appear, and Goku's soul would begin to float on its own. In a single blink of an eye, Goku's soul would have returned to his body. Latios at that moment was approaching the body of the Whis. You are a bastard. How dare you use the final judgment against that child? Shut up, Angel. I just did my job. I didn't have this in my plans, but he was just a hindrance. I also have things to protect, so see you soon. But at that moment, a strong current would start blowing all over the planet of the Beerus god. What on earth is causing this overnatural phenomenon? Don't tell me that. Goku would have risen from the ground, and with tremendous rage, I would start to scream to transform you into the mastered Ultra Instinct. I'm really angry. I won't forgive you for hurting my master, and much less for sending me to that ugly world. Goku, at an impressive speed, would start hitting the guy from all directions. When Latios tried to hit Goku, he was not able to do it, since he only hit a shadow of him. Suddenly, Goku would put a ball of energy in his chest, which would send him flying far away. Latios would crash into 3 planets. How could he be able to revive? And now he has much more power than before? Not even a god has managed to get out of that world. Perhaps the final judgment could not eliminate him. Latios could only think of this moment. His body was unable to react because of the wounds that Goku had caused him. Goku, seeing Latios very hurt, he would launch a giant energy ball. The energy with divine power was falling on Latios, but Latios with all his strength would open his eyes to use his ability to reflect. His eye would open and start to bleed, but spending much of his power, he managed to reflect Goku's attack. Goku, instead of being scared because the guy managed to reflect his attack, he would have created a portal again to make his energy ball enter that portal. But before the portal closed, Goku would quickly move to where Latios was lying on the ground and then grab a leg. "Wait, kid, what are you doing? Are you going to send me into that portal so that my body will be ashes?" Wow, so you're a little smart, because that's just what I'm going to do. Wait a minute, if you do that, I won't be able to take care of my daughter. I only did this because someone ordered me to. Shut up, you scum. I don't want to listen to your pleas. Just hearing you talk makes my mind sick. It's time for you to see death in person. Goku, with most of his strength, would have sent Latios' body flying so that he could enter the portal. Once the body of Latios entered the portal, Goku's energy ball would have collided with a planet, thus causing a giant explosion. Goku, who was far away, could only see a bright light, and then return to his base state. Meanwhile, Latios miraculously survived the explosion, but this time his body was in a very critical point. To try to save himself, he would have surrendered, and then teleported to the palace of that being. Latios began to crawl through the world, asking his master for help to heal his wounds since the pain he felt was unbearable. "So, you had the dignity to come back. You know what you did, right? I only asked you for one thing, and you couldn't even fulfill it. Master, please excuse me. I didn't think that child was so powerful. Besides, not only that, he was able to revive from the dead. And you think that matters to me now? Your daughter's life and yours are about to end." The omnipotent being known as Bizarre would have grabbed the head of Latios to start smashing it against the floor, and then use his white monarch flame. His body would begin to burn, but Latios, before being consumed, would have begged for mercy for his daughter again. But Blizzard would pretend he hadn't heard that. Latios was undoubtedly useless, but it wasn't all bad. That kid managed to convince the god of death if he has guts. I hope what happened today didn't cause so much commotion in that multiverse. Meanwhile, Goku. He would have run to his master to hug him. "Master, if I had been more attentive, maybe none of this would have happened." "Child, this is not the time for you to be sorry. Today, I could see how strong you really are. Thanks to your determination to save me, you not only saved my life, but the lives of all the people in the universe. Without a doubt, I am proud of you. And what do you think of the boy, Mr. Beerus? I see him very quiet. I find it hard to admit it, but this boy has great potential. I guess in a way I'm grateful that he saved your life, and not only yours, he also saved my life. That's why I'll let you stay on this planet." "Thank you very much, God Beerus. You will see I will become much stronger." More than a week would have passed. Whis, after healing his wounds, had regenerated all the planets that were destroyed. Although that day, the whole universe trembled because of the fight between Goku and Latios. Almost nobody remembered what happened that day, the power of Goku, and the fact that there are beings capable of destroying multiverses in a single movement. Must be a very well-kept secret. But although no one managed to realize it, such a battle would not go unnoticed by the High Priest. Meanwhile, in the palace of the King of Everything, more than a week has passed since that battle in Universe 7. That child who managed to beat that deity must be someone blessed, but having him in this multiverse can be a great danger. As time goes by, people from all universes, multiverse, and dimensions, among much more, will want to end the life of the child, just for the purpose of knowing how he got that great power. I will have to go personally and banish that child from this multiverse. Mr. Zeno-sama, I have unfinished business and will be back soon. The High Priest would have created a portal to go in just a second to the planet of the god Beerus. Goku, who is fighting with the god Beerus in a friendly battle, would have stopped fighting after seeing the great portal that was in the sky. the Great Priest had come out of the portal. It cannot be the